I've purchased a lot of different motorcycles in my time. Dirt bikes when I was younger, mopeds. I've ridden it all from electric skateboards to motorcycles to one wheels. And I could tell you out of all the things that I've ever purchased, I absolutely love motorcycles. So I said in this video, I have to compare this to a motorcycle because this is actually the first electric vehicle that I purchased with my own money for my own personal use. Other than that, I've done it for a store or I've done it to do something different. But this I'm actually going to use and I'm going to keep. So continue to watch. Let me tell you what happened. Saw a lot of reviews. Everybody riding these. I was like, how else could I get my channel more views? How could I do it? Well, this is it. And there's a lot of options just for anybody. A lot of people are probably watching this video and you already own one or you're looking at buying one. And there is an immense amount of options. There's 72 volts. You have the E-Rod Pro SS, the Surron, the Talaria, the Champs, the Sharks, all these different bikes. And I said, which one do the most amount of people like? And it's the Surron. So I said, okay, I guess I'm going to go $5,000 out of my pocket to pick this up, so I can let you know my thoughts on it. Now, keep in mind, I do own motorcycles, and I own something that tries to be a motorcycle, but it has 3 wheels, so it's not quite there. So I do know how to go fast. And let's just open this up. Let me show you everything inside of it, put it together. I'm probably going to take this out in dirt somewhere. So you guys ready for this? Let's go on and get it. No staples. Okay, you know your next level is when your cardboard has a snap to it. Jesus, sounds like wood. That's cardboard, by the way. That is next level cardboard. I don't know if I've ever seen cardboard like that. How many times can I use the word cardboard? 123 pounds this thing weighs. Don't ask me why I cut that when that just kind of comes up like that. We got these sweet laser etch keys. This is Surron on it. So oddly enough, this does have some type of license plate ensemble. So you can see the little holes there. That's where your license plate. I don't know if that is 100% a downlight. And I want to point out the fact that they're using ratchet straps on this. That's pretty crazy. That shock is next level. So 245 pounds, you can see my weight even on this platform that this is kind of recessed into. Oh, that got some weight to it. Wow. Once we release this strap, what might happen is that compression of that spring may fling up. So just be very careful with this. Oh yeah. There you go. That's a pretty nice headlight. So we are going to have to put the levers and everything on, which isn't bad. Nice grips. The tire size of this is very similar to that of like a YZ or a KX80 or CR. You guys remember? God, I sound old. Anyway, that's what it reminds me of. I'm going to go ahead and get a motorcycle stand. I got one in the front of the house. We're going to open it up. We're going to put it on top of that stand because I want to get it out of this box and get it ready to go. So let me go ahead and plug this. This video today is sponsored by Route 2 Power Sports. That has nothing to do with them. Route 2 Power Sports, probably made in China, just like this bike. I was like, you know, let me get one that I could just work on the one Surron that I'm going to buy, or the Talaria, and this is what I'm doing. So if I ever get a small motorcycle, now I have a small stand for that small motorcycle. Route 2 Power Sports. Check it out in the description down below. Hopefully it's not a piece of shit. Nice! Sweet! That was easy. 1, 2, 3, up. We're going to do the strap. We're going to unlock this first. Here we go. So just be careful with this. It's going to be a little tight. Just make sure you watch your fingers when you do that. There you go. That's it. Now we're going to put the front wheel on it. And our first box, lithium charger. Pretty nice packaging. Oh my. The charger is a 10 amp output. That is a lot of power. And you know, it's just absolutely robust. Feels significant, premium, luxurious, exquisite, precocious. But at 10 amp hour rating, 40 amp hour battery, in theory, this should fully charge that battery in 4 hours. That is remarkable. Yep. So inside of the packaging, you get the Surron decals. Some more Surron decals, I guess for the fenders and such. A little pad. Zip ties. Usually what something like this would go on the front, and like your number of what your bike is while you're motocrossing would be. I'm assuming that's what this is. Inside of the package, we also get this lovely foot peg. Now, just put this out there before we do a full review on this. The foot pegs, a lot of people complain about there's not enough of grip. I mean, we'll see, but this is usually an upgrade that people do first. Then you also get this little package here, and essentially that's some tools. It's a little late for that, though. I use my own. Looking at the rear sets, you'll see that there are holes, and what that does is it lines up with these two little nipples that stick out to kind of lock it in place, because you would think that this would thread into this. I think this is just the standard threading that you could get for any rear set, so you could do your own. Now, these micro adjustments are not much, you know, but it's no different than my Diavel. But you'll see that that is in the center section there, kind of locks in. This would only lock into one, but again, keep in mind that this is flopping. So we're going to go with this center one and lock that in place with a little nut that's provided. I see why one of the first things people do is upgrade these. The chain tightener on here is located in this ensemble right here. However, out of the box, should have about a 1/2 inch to maybe a 1/4 inch of play, and this is more than adequate. Just make sure that your axles are in fact tightened. It's always good whenever you get something out of a box. Don't just wing it. So on the top, you have a little indicator for your battery. Just going to tap that button, and it shows you where it's at 72%. Voltage is 60 volts at a 40 amp hour, rated at 2400 watt hours. Oddly enough, on the back of this, I do not see UL certified anywhere on here. Good to go. Got that little safety plug jam for when that is unplugged. Close that. Take that out. What? Time to be creative. Come on. Go ahead. Got it? Mm-hmm. Good. I do apologize for being all sweaty. Putting this all together was not super difficult. It's really minuscule when you're comparing it to other e-bikes. It's just getting that front axle on, putting on the handlebars, really simple stuff. Just make sure when you take this out, when you get it out of the box, you test every single bolt. Make sure that they're tight. Make sure that you have that little bit of play on your chain, and just be safe. So we're going to take this out. We're going to give it a test ride before I fully go balls to the wall with this. You ready? Let's get it. You put it all together and you're treating it like an e-bike. You're just holding down the red button. Does nothing. You're going to need to make sure you get your keys and turn it on. But before you do that, there's one step you have to take. Now put your key in the little side here. Then inside of here, there's a little red switch way back here. It's kind of like a breaker. You're just going to kind of force that forward, and you'll hear it snap. Then you're going to put your key into ignition, turn it on, lights up. So in order to change from kilometers per hour to miles per hour, we're going to hold down the red button and we're going to turn on the ignition and continue to hold miles per hour.
She smelled nice, like soaps and peanuts. Don't do 48 miles per hour on a, yeah, don't do that, not on a softball.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up, it's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just look me up. Don't be scared.
Surron Light Bee X Edition. You're probably asking yourself, why would you compare that bike to this bike? Two very different fields. I would agree. I would, and I would prefer the X Diavel over this, but there is one key number that I want to talk about with this sweet jam. 184 pounds of torque. 94. How? How does that make any damn sense? I have no idea. I see why people are so intrigued to get bikes like this. Like, I see it. I get it. The amount of fun that I had on this bike is insurmountable. I was going to go off-road with it for a little bit, but it was the pegs that kind of deterred me from it. I saw some videos of people complaining that it's not grippy enough, and I am going to have to agree. There's not enough of tread on there to grab your feet and kind of hold you in place. Let me talk about some of the numbers real quick. I can't get over that 184 pounds of torque, but that's what you get when you get something electric. It's only got about 5 horsepower, so your top speed, keep in mind the max load of this is 220. I am not that. I am 245 pounds, but I did get it up to about 42 miles per hour. We have 19 in the front, 19 in the back. The treads on this are knobbies. They're designed for off-road, but they're not fat enough for someone like me just because I need more traction because I'm a bigger dude. Now, I get it. Some of you guys that be buying this are young and you're lightweight, so it's no big deal for you. But you can ride this on the road illegally because that's what people do anyway. You just don't have a lot of contact. All those little knobs, you'd be better off getting the street tires with this than you would be using these knobbies on it. It's designed for off-road use, and getting it into top speed is not difficult, just a flip of a switch. You don't have to cut any wires, you don't have to do anything. And as much as this may only have 3,000 watts or 3 kilowatts, the peak is 6 kilowatts. You can feel that. If you put this in sport mode, you're gonna feel that 6 kilowatts. I was flabbergasted, it's a big word there, flabbergasted at how much this thing can pick up and go. I was not expecting it. And then when I got on the Ducati, I was like, why is this so weak, yo? How does something weigh that much less and that much more powerful. The horn on this isn't like an e-bike horn. I feel like they took this out of an old Hyundai and just plopped it on the front of this. This thing is loud, man. You don't even have to get a close-up mic. Just listen to this. That's a regular Hyundai Santa Cruz, Santa Fe type of horn. It's not Audi or Lamborghini. Those are more like sexual and sensual. You get the... It's just like that. You know what's funny is you could get a gas version of this type of bike, not Surron, but a bigger brand, and people don't ride those on the road. They ride these. I guess because it's just easier to obtain, and it falls in a bracket by itself. It's not a class 1, 2, or 3. There is no class 4, so the legality of this, you're probably asking yourself, it's got a VIN. Can I register it? Depends on the state, man. There are plenty of videos of people where they go through like Montana to do it, and some places in the DMV will allow you to do it, but it's really designed for off-road use. And then you have to worry about insurance, whether an insurance company is going to let you insure this to be on the road. Also, remember that if you're going to take this on the road, it is illegal, so be careful out there. Don't do ridiculous shit and then wonder why a cop pulled you over. Just do the right thing. 60-volt, 40-amp-hour battery. Why didn't I get the 72? They don't make it. At least that I could see. I couldn't find a Surron with a 72 volt. It's just all upgrades. And then when you start getting into the upgrades, forget the $4,800 you spend on this. You're going to spend $2,500 on a battery, another $1,000 or $2,000 on a controller. It gets crazy. And it's not hard to change them out. There's no soldering. It's just plug and play, man. It's easy breezy. For your front suspension, you have a preload and a rebound adjustment. For your rear suspension, you have a dampening screw, and you could, in fact, get a spanner and adjust that spring. You have 203 millimeter on the front and the rear. As much as I don't really care about the rear, all your stopping power is in the front, and with quad pistons, it's gonna stop on a dime. People talk about upgrading it. I don't think you need to, but people do it, so you're able to. In the very beginning of this, you kind of heard that squeaking. Don't worry about that. It'll work itself out. It was just some stuff. I didn't lube it properly. It doesn't come with any lube, so neither did my ex-wife. That's just because I sucked in bed. Okay, so when I first rode this, right, it was making that weird squeaking noise. Most people would stop and like check it out. You know, what's wrong with it? I said, I know that shit is tight enough. It'll work itself out, because what'll happen with metal is it'll eventually get a wear point. It worked itself out. I wish they did include some type of grease or something, but other than that, out of the box, it was extremely easy to assemble. I mean, put the handlebars on, nothing like an e-bike, I'll tell you that much. Make sure if you do buy this to check out all those bolts, man, because there's a lot of them and you're gonna be going fast. For your display on this, it's extremely basic. You have your speedometer, mile per hour or kilometer per hour, or your odometer. That's it. Like, there's nothing else. There's no fruity shit, like check out this Bluetooth app and maybe modify it and tell your friends all the trips that you did. Nope, you don't get anything with this. You get that little tiny display. There is no way to turn off the headlight that I could see. It's just as soon as you turn this on, that ignites, and that thing is absolutely bright as hell. Make sure you aim that down. You have that about 5 feet in front of the wheel. So if you do ride this at night, just be safe. The seat comfortability. Let's talk about it. I would not recommend you to ride this on the road. I like something that cushions my butt and makes me feel more comfortable. This makes me feel like I have not got the wedgie out of my ass after riding for about 5 minutes. It's tight, man. I mean, it's all just, there's no rebound. They need to make a dial or some type of adjustment to adjust the googiness of this, because this shit is stiff. And I think everybody that rides these complains about that. It's not really designed for you to sit on it. It's designed for you to be off-road and doing jumps, but you don't really sit down too much. You ever see them in motocross? They're always like crouched, but a lot of people get these not for the motocross. They get it because it's fun, and that it is. The throttle on this is extremely responsive. It's not like gas or its counterpart where you have to kind of wait and then it goes. You know, you could adjust those fly-by-wire configurations. Out of the box, this thing is fun. It's fast, and I had a blast. I would 100% recommend anybody that's looking at getting a Surron, because that is a bigger brand, to go out and go get it. Ask your mom, ask your dad, your wife. You're probably going to have to ask her. You don't need another toy. Yes, I do. You're not fun anymore. I need something else to play with because you're boring. And this is going to give a little bit of excitement in your life. There is no sponsorships. I bought this vehicle, PEV, dirt bike, whatever you want to call it, out of pocket. And I did it because I just wanted to see what everybody was talking about of how much fun it was. And I will 100% stand by. This was probably the best purchase I've done, aside from that slingshot over there. But other than that, it is absolutely a blast. Check out the link in the description down below to where I have all the bikes that I've done reviews on, and you could kind of check the comparisons. This will be the only one in the bracket, but I plan to get more, the Footpegs, the F1. But check out that link. You'll see the comparisons and the links to all the videos. And if you use the link down below, I'll probably get a cut, but I don't think there is any affiliation for any Surron out there. So whatever, if you look at picking it up, I highly recommend it. Sunny side up.